Today we will discuss various type of casting technique. Now, metal casting technique is a very important process, and we can do different adopt different various types of casting technique. One and very common old casting process is that which we call sand casting, and then comes centrifugal casting, and there is slush casting, investment casting, and die casting. Now, this is a common old process having scope and drag, mold, and a pouring technique. Now, therefore, after having the mold cavity, we pour in the molten metal. Though the moisture content remains there, we use sand mold. Now, the sand casting is suitable for steel or aluminum, and the common process and the common steps to casting is that we have a pattern put on the table, and flat side half pattern is there, and it is molded and being rammed in the drag, and after that the upper part is inverted upside down, and the cope is put over there, screws are being arranged, and the sand is being filled. And once it is filled, then we take out the pattern cavity there, we pour in the molten metal. All these patterns and all the accessories are taken out. The proper venting is also done so that when molten metal pour into it, then the moisture content they evaporate, and they should be allowed to leave the cavity, otherwise they will deteriorate the quality of the mold. After that, the measurement is poured into the mold cavity via the jetting system, and the riser is there to feed this. This is the common welding process. Then there comes centrifugal casting. This is a horizontal centrifugal casting. This is a metallic, can be a metallic mold, can be a metallic mold. Initially they are being rotated by means of a mm, drive mechanism. This is being rotated, and so much so that it gains a sufficient speed so that centrifuge may cause the molten metal to stick to the wall. When after getting that particular speed, the molten metal is poured into the mold, metallic mold, and as it is at high speed, that the molten metal will stick to the wall of the mold, and they are allowed to solidify. Once they solidify, the molten the solid hollow cylindrical part is shooting out. These are the two examples of the product obtained through metal casting processes. Now there is another one is this slush casting. This slush casting, we have a porous mold. We have a porous mold with the mold cavity. We pour in the molten metal into the mold cavity, allowed to solidify for some time. When we think that sufficient thickness has gained, then the extra material is being poured out. So further they are being allowed to cool so that they get strengthened. After the the casting is got strengthened, then it is being taken out. Generally, it is fit for hollow hollow casting, in which the outer profile of the casting is important, so that this gives very intricate profile, outer profile. But interior one, the interior profile is, though they are smooth, but the thickness may vary depending upon the heat transfer, the location, the corners, and all that. They get rounded. Now these are the few examples of a typical shape that can be obtained. Instead of we are having this particular thing, but now we are only having the outer profile of the cast and have the final product. These are the few decorative pieces where the importance of this is that we need only the outer profile, and therefore we go for slush casting. Now this is another example of aluminum slush casting. And this is a part shown on that of aluminum obtained through slush casting. The another technique is investment casting, in which we make a metallic mold in which we pour in the wax allowed to solidify, they're taken out, and then they are being assembled. If they are small in number, they are small in size, then they are assembled, and tree of the assembly of the small component is being made, having a proper runner, and they are being dipped in the ceramic uh, uh, solution, ceramic slurry. Now a small thin layer get adhered to the surface of the pattern, the, and after achieving a sufficient thickness of this refractory material containing the slurry, they are heated so that the slurry gets little bounded and the wax material is taken out, and therefore they make the cavity. They are further built so that they get strengthened. The composition is analyzed so that we can see whether it is having a proper composition or not, and then the molten metal is poured into this baked baked uh, hollow cast molding. They are being melted, they are poured, they are allowed to solidify. After solidification, the shell is shake, shake, shake out, shook out, and they are being broken, and we can have the whole tree, metallic tree. They are being cut, get finished with grinding, and then they are being inspected whether having the proper size, being packed, and go for delivery. These are the few typical components obtained through investment casting. A typical mark investment casting. They are developing. You can see a very intricate type of uh, castings can be developed to a very precise dimension. Now next there comes the die casting, in which we use a metallic mold. Now this die casting can be hot chamber or cold chamber, Now hot chamber we mean that when the chamber of the molten metal dipped in the furnace itself, the molten metal is there, and therefore the plunger is dipped in the molten metal. The whole assembly is being dipped over here. Now when the plunger moves down, it pushes the molten metal, it pushes the molten metal and inject into the through the nose lake into the mold cavity, die cavity. Now after solidification, they are they are the product is taken out. Now this is moving half, and therefore when they are moved away from the fixed half, and they are being ejected with the help of injector pin. But this type of hot chamber die casting is only suitable for low temperature metals. Now that is having, then there is a cold chamber in which the molten metal is the metal is melted in the furnace. They are brought in a ladle, and we are having this chamber, this short chamber, in which it is being poured, and the ram is pushes this molten metal get injected in the cavity of the mold. It is having better profile and more compaction, more strength, and therefore after solidification they are being taken off. This is all about different types of mold. Thanks a lot for